who have been the underdogs all day, and they're currently holding third place. And then 2 cars back in the queue is not only the fastest car over a lap currently in the field, but also one of the fastest in a straight line. The Sherrin brothers, the reigning champions in Australian production car racing, and a car that's a team that's finished second here before, but are yet to win. We're back racing. The green flags fly on a stunning Easter Sunday at Mount Panorama, and this race has delivered everything that you would expect an endurance race at this place would do every single time. Here we go. Brett Strom, unknown American to the Australian audiences, taking on a household name in Stephen Johnson.
Stephen needs to pick his battles here because he's got a bit of time, but not much, because Grant Sherrin will be picking his way through the traffic. He's got a couple of lap cars to go before he starts battling with Lee Burgess, who's the 6 BMW, who's just ahead of him. It's the black and yellow car from the front. It's got a bit of red on it from the back, and he's already on him. Going to Griffins now.
Here he goes, sent it to the outside. It's a long way round. The BMW goes defensive. It'll compromise his exit, but it's very difficult to pass on the run up to the cutting.
That was for the lead. Johnson in the 29 car in second, behind the BMW, the 5 car, the black machine that leads, and the battle for second and third, in fact through.
Third.
Yeah, third's gone through. Grant Sherrin's already gone through, so he's dealt with Lee Burgess and now sets off after the leaders. This car, fast. Is it going to last?
Stephen needs to get past Brett Strom quickly, because that M4, is going to come blazing up behind these two, and in a straight line it will drive past them.
How close to the wall for Brett Strom up at the metal grate there, and a bit of a flat slide, somehow just managed to keep his foot in. The little 1M is very nimble indeed as he starts the downhill stretch. Down through to the dipper, and then the S's. He's throwing it at the corners. Stevie, I think Stevie will be impressed with that, no doubt. Steve's got a few laps around here under his belt, and he's watching Brett Strom doing a pretty decent job of staying ahead of him at the moment. Meantime, at the elbow, the Forest elbow, the big Mercedes is there as well, and that could be a bit of trouble for the BMW if the Merc gets ahead of him.
He's got a good run here, Stephen Johnson. He's in the tow, so the Merc's been pretty decent in a straight line, and Strom covered his line. He defended, now he moves back across. Now they're wheel to wheel into the chase and around the outside. Stephen Johnson wrestles the lead of the 6 hour away from the BMW.
And he was right on the ragged edge of adhesion, breaking into the chase, and the BMW is not finished. Gets a good run under the Hi-Tec oil bridge and will have to go around the outside at the final corner at Murray's. And all the time the second BMW is getting closer. They're side by side at the braking area. Man, that was brave by Brett Strom. Great driving from both. That's super stuff from these two. But watch behind for the Sherrin's Rentals cars. They go into hell corner, sun in the eyes as they turn in down to second, maybe third gear, depending on how you've got the car geared. And now the top 3 go up mountain straight together.
And Sherrin's about to be P2 here. In fact, he could be first. He's got a really good run out of Hell Corner, and he drives past one BMW. Now there's a Mercedes to worry about. Sherrin is second. Now he's almost first. Around the outside, but Johnson's got the defensive line.
And we've seen before that the little four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive AMG A45 is good into Griffin Bend. We saw Beardo defending there from the other BMW, and look, the little 1 Series was right in there on the brakes as well. Clearly the 27 car hasn't got the braking ability of the lighter cars and the more nimble cars, but what it's got is horsepower.
Stephen is going to have to put the best middle sector he has ever done at Mount Panorama in 30 odd years of racing here to beat that car, because he needs to find a couple of seconds over that Sherrin Rentals BMW. Personal best laps for the first 3 cars last time round. Sherrin in the 26s, Johnson with a 28.5.
29.3 for Brett Strom. All green times. That means the best lap for that car of the race. The sun starting to be an issue at certain parts of the circuit, and then Brett Strom is not letting Grant Sherrin have any kind of rest at all as they come down the hill. He's not going to get a pass on him, but he's making him look in his mirror. He's actually doing Stephen Johnson a little bit of a solid here as they come through Forest's elbow. Oh, slide there from the Sherrin's car. Got to keep those rear tyres under that, because if they go away, it will dull his ability to fight. Stephen Johnson just has a little scratch of the ear. He's just sitting on Conrod, sitting in the middle of the track. He knows he's got to make this car wide in the faster parts of the circuit, coming down towards the right-hander. He's done enough to this point, Crealty. That's great driving, but now he's got to get it stopped at the chase.
Yeah, Mountain Straight for me is the issue, because the Sherrin car pulls all the margin it lost across the top of the mountain back down Conrod. Then it uses its horsepower and torque to its advantage up the hill. The drag race up to turn 2. Johnson defends. This is the battle for the lead. There's 6 minutes to go in this race, and they're fighting like it's a 5-lap sprint. Across the line they go, into the setting sun. Grant Sherrin sails through. It's another lead change in the final 10 minutes, and now the BMW M4 leads the race.
Oh, and Sherrin stood up the 29 car as well at the corner, at the apex at Hell corner. Straight away, Johnson gets in to the slipstream of the faster car, but he's pulling away gradually. There might still be half a chance here if Johnson is close enough. That BMW ahead of him has to brake quite early for Griffin Bend, but it's too much to ask. There's a car ahead, could be a factor. No, it's not going to be, and he just couldn't hold on to it. But now we'll get the run over the top of the mountain, and can he put some pressure on Grant Sherrin? Now what he's got to do is get the main beam on and make himself as wide as possible, move from side to side, try and get Grant Sherrin to take his eye off the ball. And again, wheel spin out of the cutting there for Grant Sherrin in the leading car.
Oh, he'll be 1.5 seconds in share across the top of the mountain, but his only option is to send it down the inside and a bit of a Hail Mary down at Forest Elbow and hope that he comes out in front the other side. Otherwise, I don't know if it's a chance for Stephen Johnson. So Grant Sherrin leads the race. Across the top of the mountain they go. Brett Strom dropping 2 wheels off at McPhillamy Park. He's in 3rd place. He's got comfortable margin over Lee Burgess back in 4th. Jimmy Vernon 5th place. He's back on the lead lap, incidentally, in that Evo, and doing a really good job.
I honestly, the way Brett Strom is driving the top of the mountain is extraordinary. Down to Forest Elbow, and the gaps come down, but it will ease out again as the BMW gets into its stride. Mercedes-Benz versus BMW, and it's the BMW M4, the new M4, which is ahead as we come down in the closing stages. Under 4 minutes to go. There'll be one more lap and maybe a final lap. After that, it will very much depend on the pace of the leader. That last safety car playing into the hands of the 27 Sherrin's rental team. Steve Johnson's done a cracking job there to hold on to a much faster car, but it's not going to be enough as they come down to Murray's to start what I think will be the penultimate lap.
So the margin is still tight. Johnson's still very much in the shouting distance. The top 3 cars are covered by a second. Brett Strom sets his fastest personal lap of the race. Punches out a 29.1 in car number 5. He is driving the race of his life. This All-American team that have come over to race for the 2nd time this year at Mount Panorama just missed out on a podium in the 12-hour in the GT4 class. Staring down the barrel of an outright podium here in the 6-hour. Grant Sherrin the lead at 2:27.9 last time around to Johnson's 2:29.1.
And just a bit of extra drama in one of the compact classes. The E-class leader, Mark Griffith, in the Echo, coughing and spluttering. That was the slow car that the leaders went by last time around, all the way up Mountain Straight. That car, which is just on the verge of the top 32nd position, and the E-class leader for quite a long time now is struggling in the last few minutes of the race. That car will be heading on to its last lap this next time around, but will it actually make the finish?
2 minutes to go. The car that leads the race when we restarted 6 minutes ago wasn't even on the podium. It's now driving away in the lead of this race, a race that they came so close to winning 2 years ago. Last year they dominated. They had clearly the fastest car, but there was nothing they could do. It broke and they did not finish. This time it's all gone right for them today. They've had their trials and tribulations, Grant and Sherrin, but they've fought back. And Johnson, I wonder if has just overextended the Hankook tyres on car number 29, because Brett Strom right in the mix here and continuing to hassle over the final spot on the podium.
Brett Strom's driven a brilliant last few laps of the race. that BMW seemingly just a little bit kinder on its Hankook tyres. The Hyundai goes another lap back, but is still running. Sharon's car is away and gone. The battle for second is where the interest is. Second on the podium, second overall. And down the outside, Strom tries an audacious manoeuvre at the chase. He's got to hold on to the right-hand side of the track. He does. He's got two Hankooks on the dirt. It's the pass on the dirt, not the pass on the grass. But he's now on the wrong side under the Hi-Tec bridge. And Steve Johnson just holds on to second. And the Echo is in the pit lane as they went by through Murray's for what I think will be the penultimate time.
That is the class leader limping back, so late drama in Class E. Our attention is on for the final step on the podium.
Magnificent.
What a race this is. Grant Sherrin now out in front to the margin of 3.3 seconds. Just needs to stroke the big M4 home for Sherrin Rentals Racing, reigning Australian production car champions. Johnson doing everything he can to defend from this BMW 1M. There's the leader, past the Suzuki Swift. Here is the fight for second and third. Johnson flashing the lights. Let the lap traffic know he's there.
He does not want to be held up at all here because the BMW is very, very strong from Griffin's right over the top, and they're side by side as they head towards the cutting. The Suzuki Swift might be a little bit of a blocky car, and he's slotted through, and second place goes through. He had to lift. Steve Johnson had to lift because of the Suzuki. Nothing that the Suzuki could do, stayed on his line, but that was an audacious, bold and brilliant move from Brett Strom. That is a super overtake at any time of the race, and when you're on the last lap of the 2018 Hi-Tec Oils Bathurst 6 hour, that is close to genius.
That was big, I feel, for Steve though, because there was nothing he could do there. He had to get out of the throttle or it would have been a very large accident. He's not done yet though. This car's been good down Conrod. He needs a good run through the final sector of the lap. That's just allowed the Sherrins to pull away a little bit further.
We will complete 109 laps in the 2018 Hi-Tec Oils Bathurst 6 hour, and it's been drama since before the green flag, with cars not getting to the start line, starting in the pit lane. Overnight changes to the balance of performance and the specification of the car that will win the race. Drama right to the end as well, as second place is far from secure. Second and third are within half a car's length now. Steve Johnson goes to the right hand side, car off on the grass as they go through it. Yellow flags would have been out there, but he hasn't made the pass yet. Now down into the chase. Johnson has done it here in the pass. Can he get it stopped? It's going to be the dash down to Murray's and then across the line. Grant Sherrin is going to win it for the BMW M4, but who's second, Crilsey?
The fight is on right down to the line. We wait for the Sherrin BMW. No confirmation of final lap yet, incidentally. We'll wait and see that. They're going to go around again.
No way.
No, checkered flag. Sherrin's win. Fight for second. Goes to the line. Johnson misses out. It was a late call for the checkered flag, right as the Sherrin car crossed the line. But Grant and Ian Sherrin win the Hi-Tec Oils Bathurst 6 hour.
Tell him to get some pick on it.
What a race. What a finish. Stevie J threw everything at that.
Did you hear what they said there? Tell them to get some pick-up on the car. Remember, they had to raise the ride height on that car. They will not want to be anywhere near being out of technical at the end of this race. They've worked hard for that one.
They were late dropping the flag there on the Sherrins as they crossed the line. Johnson dropped everything he could, including two wheels off the road, to try and get there. And Brett Strom has just driven the race of his life. Punching the air was the number 63 Subaru. I think they got to the finish. Confirm when they finished there. That's Schumacher and Anderson, local drivers. 53 it was, 12th place in the end, 8th in Class A1 in a dramatic finish to that motor race. So Sherrin, Grant it is behind the wheel, crosses the line and wins the official margin of victory, 3.2 seconds. This is the Class C leading car, Andrew Williams, across the line. They will win their class in a dominant performance in the Subaru. They're a long way in front of their nearest rivals. A2 goes the way of the AMG C63. They finished 7th outright, which is an outstanding performance. David Baker in car 47, that's the Honda Integra. They won Class D.